This guide is just going to go over the different methods of farming fragments in Last Oasis. These are the methods just found in the beta so far that we've tested. I'm sure there'll be more in future maps that are released, but these are the ones that we have available now. These shipwrecks are the most common type of wreck, and the tall mast makes them very easy to see over dunes. This is quite a good location. There's actually a harpoon wreck beside me. In the distance over the top of the next dune I can see a stone vault wreck. On the shipwrecks there's always a pair of stairs on one side. You could wander up the stairs, or you could of course grapple up. On the top of the platform you'll find a flower pot, some fragments inside, and a crate. You just whack on the crate until it breaks. Switching attack angles seems to do more damage. And once you take the health of the crate down to 0, it's lootable. And there's actually a hidden fragment pouch up top. You have to grapple to it. And I'm using a short grapple, which is a little bit more challenging for this, but it's still doable. Just grab it, and make your way down, and be careful on your way down, because if you go too fast, you'll smack into it. You can expect anywhere between 3 fragments, 1 from each, the flower pot, the crate, and the hidden pouch. Anywhere up to 20 fragments was the best fragment shipwreck I found. Now the best way to get these harpoon wrecks are to angle your ship. You want to have your ballista aimed through the structure, like so. So when I look through the ballista, I can see the chest through. Now these are quite easy. All you need is a harpoon, this item here, and the ballista are in front of me. I'll just load it up and fire. I see the hit marker and the box at the top says loot. Now I'm shooting through the structure because it decreases the time it takes to damage it enough to loot it. If you shoot from the side here, you can pull it behind you, behind your ship, for anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes, and will slowly bounce and take damage. Using S turns can decrease the time it takes to about a minute, but still, it's quite slow. Using this method, shooting through the structure, you're able to pull the chest against the structure itself, which causes damage quite quickly. So the damage at the top you just saw popped. Ship took a nose, but it's still fine. I will now go and loot it, and in theory you could loot these in anywhere from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. Grab the flower pot, of course, and loot your chest. 28 fragments is excellent. You can expect anywhere from 19 to 27, 28 fragments with these. So I've already shown how to crack open the crate in a harpoon wreck with a ballista and a harpoon, but just to show that it can be done in a Firefly, I'm going to crack this one open. Just need your harpoon again and a ballista, load the harpoon, and again shoot through the wreck for the hit marker. I found it's best to actually give this some slack, so if you reel out, which is Q, just a little bit to give it a little bit of slack, it allows you to get some turning going. The best method for the Firefly is to actually be pointing straight away from the wreck, as it will cause the ship to flip if you're not. So let's try this. So if you pulse back and forward, it seems to work best, but I'm just going to turn around and see, and yes, it is caught on the interior of the structure. Let's try going forward again, and we'll see the damage at the top if there is enough. Did a little bit there. I'm going to pedal this time to do more damage. And while it does take longer, you can crack them with the Firefly, which is excellent as it's the starter ship, so anyone can be cracking these open, even on day one. There'll be 2 more pulses and we can get it open, maybe 1 if we're lucky. There we go. And then hop out. Be sure to grab your flower pot while you're on the interior of the cylinder. Withdraw your harpoon just to get a few extra mats, and grab your chest. These stone vault wrecks give the most fragments. They're simple to get. A firebolt, this item here, and a ballista. You man your ballista, load your firebolt, and launch it in. Then have to wait some time as it slowly damages the vault. It will slowly tick away. There was a tick there. And while you're waiting, there is another flower pot up top that you can get for a few more fragments. Be sure not to loot the flower pot and walk away, as it will despawn after a minute or so, and you'll lose the 30 or so fragments from the stone vault, which is worth far more. Color will change when it is fully destroyed, meaning it's lootable. Then pull your bolt out. This gives you a few resources back and never hurts. And then loot your bolt. 33 fragments is a pretty good one. They go from about 29 to about 33 or 34. Every type of wreck I've shown so far can be gathered with any type of vehicle. You just need to have a ballista placed on the back. The exception is the spider with no mounted ballista. There's no way to get the harpoon chest seen ahead of me with the spider with no ballista, because you're not able to reel it in and cause enough damage. If you're in one of these spiders and do not have a ballista and there's no one around you, you'll always grab the flower pot. It will despawn this, so if you do have an ally nearby, it's best to call them over if they do have a ballista. But if not, no reason to let enemies take fragments. These are 2 of the less common types of wrecks. This is a skeleton wreck on this side, and on that side is a different one. We'll go over to that one in a second. This skeleton wreck is hard to see because they're rather small, but all you do is wander over to the skeleton and loot it. You can expect anywhere between 1 and about 4 fragments from that. And this over here is the urn wreck. These ones you simply wander over, smash open the urn, and loot it. You can expect again anywhere between 1 and 3 fragments from this. Oh, my ship's taking a run. This is quite the ship graveyard. 2 shipwrecks over there, a harpoon wreck, and 2 more shipwrecks, and then 2 hull wrecks. And what we're looking at now is this mast wreck. There's 2 pieces of mast, and since it's rather small, it's rather hard to see, especially from side profile. I might cut out the first try, but typically there'll be a flower pot at the bottom here, and you just loot the flower pot, and you can typically expect between 1 and 3 fragments from these wrecks. Another place to get fragments is these rupee villages. I've gone ahead and killed all the rupees, but they can drop fragments, so we'll check their corpses. Be sure to gather all these with a sickle. The rupee vines are only found in the villages or on corpses of rupees, but the most prevalent place is in these villages. And be sure to get the rupee effigy while you're here. And I'm just going to keep looting the corpses. There's a fragment. This was off a shaman I killed, so there's a fragment. Another spot is in these urns. Nothing there. Finally, we'll check up inside all the rupee huts. To do this, you grapple, and as you're swinging up, you hold spacebar right away. You'll just grapple up, and then I'm just going to break this. Again, these are iffy to break. Sometimes they don't like to be broken. These bigger urns tend to give more fragments, so let's see if we're lucky. Not in this one. And that's a basic rupee village. Again, rupees can drop fragments. The best ones are from the harder rupees, and then urns, and then the urns within the huts. You can expect anywhere between 1 and, if you're lucky, 2, maybe 3 fragments from these. These rupee huts are also a source of fragments from the urn inside the hut, and of course from the rupees. They're quite common. You can see one over there, and there's actually one over there, but it's hard to see with the sandstorm coming in. They're guarded typically by 2 rupees, which are quite easy to kill. They're low-level rupees. Grab the rupee vine while you're here with a sickle so you get more of it. I grapple up, holding spacebar so I pull myself up. I'm going to try to crack open the urn, but sometimes these don't like to be cracked. Just some kind of bug. And once it's open, if we're lucky, we'll get a fragment. And in this case, we did not, but typically you can expect no fragments. If you're lucky, you can get 1, possibly 2. Another place to get fragments is from a Mery. It's one of these. It's a blue chitinous creature. We call them cats, but they're called Mery. They're challenging monsters, and the devs have said they want them to be challenging, which is excellent. 2 people is best, 1 behind and 1 in front, distracting. The one behind will do the majority of the damage. If you're alone, you can harpoon them and hold their leash range and attack, but the line will sometimes snap and it's really inconsistent. So the best way is to damage them, and then if you take damage, you jump straight up on your quick access onto your ship, heal up if you need, and then go back down. I've taken this one down most of the way, so I'll drop down and kill the rest and show you how to gather. Long-range weapons, such as a quarterstaff or sword, are best, so you don't have to get too close to the creature. So there's 2 ways to gather from it. One is with a pick and one is with an axe. And they'll both give different resources. So the first swing I'll do with an axe. And I see I got both a fragment and some hide. The second time I'll use a pick. And you'll see I got some chitin and some more fragments. So chitin is used right now to upgrade armor. Hide is used for a number of things. And then again you get more fragments. So typically for Mery you'll get anywhere between 3 and up to 6 or 7 fragments. And again, 2 people is best, but they can be done with 1. The Mery are found near or in these dried up lake beds, this white area here, exclusively. So if you are hunting them, be sure to look for these white dried up lake bed areas.